What if Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, and Brock Purdy all disappeared before their playoff game? That's what I'm testing today in Madden 23. We are going to see which of the remaining 4 backup quarterbacks is the best, and see if any of them have a Nick Foles-like run in them. We start off in the AFC, where we have Chad Henne versus Brandon Allen as the Chiefs take on the Bengals. I was kind of shocked, but the Chiefs really started airing out the ball early as Chad Henne really didn't change their offense much at the beginning. Henne's really out here just chucking it. On this 1st and 10, he finds Juju Smith for a nice little completion right there. Then coming back on a 3rd and 9 right here, they throw it up and it gets swatted away. Now on a 4th and 9, it looks like Chiefs are going to line up to kick the field goal, but they actually miss it right here. So the Bengals get the ball in pretty good field position. Let's see what Brandon Allen can do with it. And on the first play from scrimmage, he actually gets sacked for 8 yards, and that is not good. And 3rd down is not much different than first. He actually gets sacked and fumbles, and that leads to a George Karlaftis strip recovery for a touchdown. To be honest, I really didn't think a defensive touchdown was going to be the first thing we saw. I thought it was going to be a running back, but the defense scoring shouldn't have been shocking, as these quarterbacks obviously are not the best. At this point, the Bengals really start pounding the rock, which is what I thought I'd see from the jump from all of these 4 teams. But if I did see a team air it out, I really did think it would be the Bengals. They just have the most receiving weapons, and I thought Brandon Allen wouldn't be too bad at it. You see a nice little throw right here to Hayden Hurst, getting all the way to the 24. Right here, it looks like Allen's got a bunch of room to actually run it, but he chucks up a Hail Mary to the back of the end zone, gets swatted, which is kind of lucky because it probably should have been picked. You have a rollout and just chuck right here to Joe Mixon, which he hits the underneath, lines up the field goal for Evan McPherson, making it 7-3, as Evan McPherson obviously knocks it in. The screen game is something that I thought was going to be used a lot, and you see it right here with the Chiefs going to Isaiah Pacheco. And right here, Chad Henne actually stands back and throws a dime to MVS, which he kind of uncorked it. Henne's leading him all the way down the field. He has a nice throw right here to Travis Kelce, who makes a contested catch. Coming right back to the pass on 2nd and 3, hits MVS for a nice little 1st down, bringing him to the 10. And on 2nd and 10 from the 10-yard line, who else but Travis Kelce? Chad Henne hits him, scores the first offensive touchdown of the game, making it 14-3. The Chiefs are leading, and Brandon Allen's going to have to lead a comeback. Starting off the comeback with a little hit to T. Higgins, but the drive sputters out, and they end up punting it with just a few seconds left in the first half. But the Bengals come out with the ball, so let's see what Brandon Allen can do. Right here, he steps up, but ends up getting sacked. There just really is no throw under pressure here from a lot of these backups, especially Brandon Allen, it seems like. And the most shocking play I've seen, a read option where Chad Henne keeps it and trucks out of a tackle from Jesse Bates. Ends up celebrating right in his face. I mean, if it wasn't Chad Henne, I'd probably be a little pissed, but you got to respect the man to have that kind of audacity. And the next play, he uncorks a ball to MVS for a touchdown. I mean, what can't Chad Henne do? It was at this point I decided to sim the game. I really didn't think the Bengals had much of a shot, and it looks like that was true. Chad Henne just really outclasses Brandon Allen in this game. 2 passing touchdowns to Brandon Allen, 0, and the boys are buzzing with Chad Henne at quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Brandon Allen ended up throwing for 193 yards, where Chad Henne threw for 191, but 2 touchdowns to 0 touchdowns. That's pretty much the tell of the story. Now, moving right along to the NFC Championship, we've got Josh Johnson against Gardner Minshew. Not just saying that you really would give the edge to Gardner Minshew, but who knows? Maybe Josh Johnson has a little Nick Foles in him. But on this 3rd and 13, he checks it down for about 4 yards, and they end up punting. The most shocking thing to me is that these offenses really just started chucking the ball with all of these backup quarterbacks. It's not like they really tried to protect them with the run game, but we've Gardner Minshew throw an absolute dart to Devontae Smith right there. But if there was someone on the 49ers defense who was going to wreck this game, it was Nick Bosa, and he's starting off early with a sack. Right here, it looks like Gardner Minshew does have a little bit of time. He could have thrown a dump off or just ran it right up the middle, but he drops back and takes a huge sack for about 11 yards. And as he's trying to pick it up, he throws an interception. Travarius Ward gets an INT, the first turnover of the video by a quarterback. After an incomplete pass on 1st down, Josh Johnson right here gets pressured by Hassan Reddick, but he takes off and ends up getting it all the way to the 30-yard line. And in the NFL this year, we've seen a lot of backups playing half sub success. The key is getting it to your playmakers, and right here, Josh Johnson makes that the case, gets it to Debo, who has a huge gain all the way pretty much to the 45. I'm not sure what it is about these offenses and running read options with their backups, but it's actually working. He gets it all the way to the 28-yard line. And here with a little trickery, they do a little handoff with a sweep to Debo, and he almost picks up the first. And on this 3rd and 2, we have Christian McCaffrey run the ball, but he is met in the backfield. That leaves Robbie Gould kicking a field goal, making it 3-0 as the Niners go up early. But I would argue if any team in this simulation really is not concerned, I would say it's the Eagles. They've seen a backup quarterback do it before, so why couldn't Gardner Minshew do it again? After two great back-to-back plays to A.J. Brown, we see Gardner Minshew do one of the weirder things, and he just rolls out, absolutely chucks across the body, but Dallas Goedert goes up and gets it. And I mean, that was one of the best plays I think we'll see during this entire sim. On this 3rd and 16, Gardner tries to hit his key man in A.J. Brown, but only gets to the 19-yard line, leading to a field goal attempt from Jake Elliott, who ends up drilling it, making it 3-3 in the NFC Championship. With only a minute left in the half, I really thought the Niners might play this safe, but he tries to uncork it right here to Christian McCaffrey. And on 3rd down, they run it again with Christian McCaffrey. They get stopped. The Eagles call timeout, but they get nothing done, and we go in the half tied at 3. At this point, I think we've kind of realized these are going to be lower scoring games. These backup quarterbacks really aren't moving the ball. When you have a guy like Nick Bosa screaming at your back, you're not going to get much done. His 3rd sack of the game, and Nick Bosa is wrecking this game single-handedly for the 49ers. Blitzing safety gets some pressure on Gardner Minshew. He lobs it up, and Fred Warner comes down with it. Takes it all the way to the 5-yard line. Especially in a sim with the backup quarterback, you probably want to house that, as we see a throw right here from Josh Johnson fall incomplete. And on a 3rd and goal, they're going to throw it again. He tries to hit the underneath receiver, but kind of just sails in, and it falls incomplete. And after getting a pick 6 and taking it to the opponent's 5, they settle for a field goal. Gardner Minshew comes out with the ball in the 17, and look who's wrecking the game again. Nick Bosa with another sack on the day. The Eagles couldn't move the ball, so they just ended up punting, and he actually finds George Kittle right here, which is his first completion to George of the day. Josh finds George again to make it 3rd and 3. And obviously in these situations, the best thing to do is hand the ball off, but the Eagles defense is really stopping Christian McCaffrey on these short yard situations. And the Niners end up punting. I think this is probably a situation you see if the starter's in, you're probably going for it right there. And Gardner Minshew just throws up a prayer to A.J. Brown, and he comes down with it. That was an insane play by A.J. We see Minshew try to do the same thing again, but this one gets broken up, and he's pretty lucky that wasn't picked. On this play, we see Minshew dump it off to Miles Sanders, who Funga looks like he has a tackle, but he breaks out of it, and then he actually ends up fumbling the ball, and it falls out of bounds. Really lucky bounce there for the Eagles. So they line up for a field goal attempt, and Jake Elliott actually misses it. The Niners get the ball back and in pretty good position too. But on literally the first play on the next drive, they fumble the ball, but luckily the Niners pick it back up. Josh Johnson finds Deebo Samuel right in the middle of the field, which is probably what he should be doing more often. Another read option for our boy Josh Johnson, and with 2 minutes left in the 4th, this is huge. Picks up the first. On a 3rd and 6, if they get it, they probably win the game. They get a huge pressure from Fletcher Cox, making it 4th and 6. Robbie Gould kicks a field goal, and I think he's never missed a playoff field goal, and that stays true in the simulation, making it 9-3 49ers. Minshew tries to roll out, just ends up throwing an incompletion, which is kind of lucky on his part. On this 3rd and 10, though, drops back and throws a dart right there. But there is a flag. We have no idea what this is going to be, and it's roughing the passer on Javon Kinlaw. And right after that, the Eagles are on the 22-yard line, and Gardner Minshew delivers a rope to Quez Watkins to put him up by 1. It's 10-9. The 49ers got the ball on the 13-yard line. They've got about 30 seconds left, and they are sacked, putting them on the 4. Josh Johnson's really going to need a miracle right here. Steps back, and Hassan Riddick gets a safety. And that pretty much ends the game. It is 12-9. The Eagles are advancing to the Super Bowl to face off against Chad Henne and the Kansas City Chiefs. Gardner Minshew really didn't play incredible, though. He threw for 209 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 picks. Josh Johnson shockingly ran for 32 yards. Now the Super Bowl, everybody has been dying to see Chad Henne starting against Gardner Minshew in the biggest game of both of their lives. I mean, you couldn't write this story in Hollywood. They'd punch you in the face. The Chiefs start out with the ball, and Chad Henne's trying to be his best Nick Foles, throwing a great pass right there to Travis Kelce, going out at about 37. And back-to-back plays, Chad Henne really looks like Nick Foles, just the bad Nick Foles. So he throws an interception right there, and they start to return it back to about the 35, but get tackled by Travis Kelce, and James Bradberry's going to have a day. But Gardner Minshew is not one to be outdone, so he tries to uncork this pass, but it falls incomplete out of bounds. After getting stopped, we have a great punt from the Eagles, and we have a handoff right here that is stuffed in the end zone. Javon Hargrave forces a safety. Eagles take over with a 2-point lead. Not something I really thought I would see as George Karlaftis gets a sack. On 3rd and 17, it really comes up to Gardner Minshew to see what he can do. Really does his best Carson Wentz impersonation, trying to scramble, but doesn't throw the ball, gets sacked to make it a 4th and 29. After the punt, Chad Henne takes over, and he throws a nice pass to Juju Smith over the middle of the field. And on a 3rd and inches, they give it to Isaiah Pacheco, who obviously picks it up. Back-to-back runs here for Pacheco, and man, he makes Bradberry look silly with that juke move. Things you love to see. Now, the main commonality I see with all these quarterbacks is once their first read isn't open, they kind of panic. They look like a deer in headlights, and right here, Jordan Davis and Brandon Graham meet in the backfield. And after a bad play on second down, it's going to be 3rd and 15 for Chad Henne here. He's going to throw it, but he throws it well short of the sticks right here to MVS, and they don't pick up the first. They trust Butker with his leg. He drills the field goal, making it 3-2. Chiefs lead by 1. The Eagles start driving, and then on this 3rd and 6, Gardner Minshew drops back, rolls out, tries to throw it, but then pretty much hits nobody. Eagles are forced to punt. And this is the Chad Henne drives. Hits MVS right there. Mecole Hardman on the second pass. And yet again, connects with Mecole Hardman. Picks up the first down right here. On this 1st and 10, he finds Jerick McKinnon out of the backfield. Runs up and able to pick up a really nice game, putting it in Eagles territory. Now at this point, you'd think being almost in the red zone, you try to run it maybe, get in the red zone, get a better shot. But they throw not 1, not 2, but they throw 3 jump balls in the red zone and none are caught. 4th and 10 on the 23. They're going to be forced to kick a field goal. Butker drills it, but it's 6-2. After some weird play calling to end the half, the Chiefs come out with the lead, but the Eagles have the ball, and they're determined to drive down the field and score. Gardner Minshew is taking the old Josh Johnson approach and just trying to get the ball in the hand of his playmaker. Gets it to Devonta Smith, almost gets to the 50-yard line there. Doesn't see anything open on this 2nd and 10, is able to scramble for about 6 yards. And on this 3rd and 5, he kind of turns back into the backup we know and love. Chris Johnson ends up getting him first for a sack of about 13 yards. Eagles punter might really be the MVP of the game, pinning him back deep yet again, but Isaiah Pacheco says that does not matter. This is kind of a formula I thought we'd see for a team that's going to win. Jerick McKinnon right here just really establishing the run game and not letting your quarterback make mistakes. And Chad Henne's making some good reads right there. Another pass to Mecole Hardman. And another run where Pacheco's just kind of busting it out. And for some reason, they get stuck in a 3rd and 14, but instead of trying to hit a dump off or something, they go for it all, and pass is broken up. They're going to have to settle for yet again another field goal. The Chiefs kicker, Harrison Butker, and whoever the Eagles punter is are kind of the key players in this game so far. Miles Sanders gets stuffed on a 2nd and inches, making it 3rd and inches, where they run the read option, and Gardner Minshew picks it up. I think every backup has had a great read option except for Brandon Allen. Right here, Gardner Minshew has to make a man miss on 3rd and 10. He starts to run, but he slides 1 yard short, and it's 4th and 2. They're going to punt it. Chiefs get the ball. We're in the 4th quarter. I think at this point, if the Chiefs put up a really good drive, I think it could almost put the game out of reach. After taking a real bad sack, it's 2nd and 24 on their own 6. Chad Henne drops back, has a nice pass in the middle of the field to Mecole Hardman, who picks it up. And on a 3rd and 14, Chad Henne is going to throw it short of the sticks to Juju, and he is met right where he catches the ball. Chiefs are going to punt. Gardner Minshew gets the ball with 1:51 left. Can he lead the Eagles to victory? Gardner Minshew steps back, sets up, delivers a nice pass right here to Dallas Goedert to pick up the first. There's not a ton of time left. They're going to have to start pushing the ball with 54 seconds left. He has a nice throw right here to Devonta Smith. 31 seconds left on the clock. We have a nice check down to Miles Sanders, but the clock is running. They only have 2 more timeouts left. On 2nd and inches with 25 seconds left, Gardner Minshew steps back, tries to hit the end route, and that is picked off. Trent McDuffie at the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5, and that is a touchdown. The Chiefs score a last-second pick 6 to put the game on ice. We're going to have a last-second throw here by Gardner Minshew to try to make the score look better, but man, that pass is going to fall incomplete. And there you have it. If all the backup quarterbacks were starting the rest of the playoffs, the Chiefs would come out victorious as Chad Henne would win Super Bowl MVP and carry the Chiefs to victory without Patrick Mahomes. Let me know what you guys want to see next, and until next time, peace out and stay safe.
Chuki got the sauce, bitch.